franchise.
Absolutely.
And some of the people that I know that are the fittest and the most activist are over 70.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're retired, so they have time, including my mom, time to volunteer
Just
and
wanna
time
do
to do
things
Pilates
and-
and
yeah.
Keep
all the
pickleball.
stuff they couldn't while they were working all
Correct.
of the years.
Camping and pickleball and all the things.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
bunko and all sorts of fun
That's
stuff.
what retirement is.
That's
you
right.
Get to enjoy all the fruits of your labors. And as far as Freddie, I mean, one of the best human beings out there, man. Not just a great football player, as we all know, but a really great person, too. Very caring individual, great family guy. He cares about his teammates. The alumni, when he's together, he's always talking to everybody. Never like, hey, I'm Freddie and you're not kind of deal. Always been a really cool individual.
And
I
think
love Freddie.
I don't really know that we'll ever have a better running back. Like, even if we get somebody that's really, really good, I still don't know that they can eclipse what Fred Taylor did here for this franchise.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, he was one of the greatest ever, and unless you're 230 shredded and like a brick, house and can run a 4.3.
Right. Good luck.
You're not going to be Freddie Taylor. You're just not. I've told this story before. I remember hitting him as a rookie, and it wasn't even full speed. And there were certain running backs when you hit, your whole body would feel it. Like your spine, like deep into your soul, kind of deal. And it felt like a glimpse of that. And I was like, oh, well, he's not just fast. He's a bruiser, too. You get that when I remember hitting Bettis like that. You're just like, whoo-wee. That might have taken a year
off my life.
Yeah, I hit William Floyd at the goal line. He was with Carolina, and I swear there's a point in my back right underneath my right shoulder blade that hurt then that still hurts now from time to time. Yeah, just those moments. But Freddie was special. I mean, he was just. I remember as a rookie, we were just like, you gotta be kidding me. He's on our team. And we were already a good team. We had a really good team. And that first round was Freddie Taylor and Donovan Darius. And we talk about a 1-2. And both ran 4.3.
And both hit
like trucks.
Yeah. One when you hit them and the other.
Absolutely. What a great draft that was. But happy birthday, Freddie.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a great milestone.
Hope you have a great day. And I'm assuming he's down at home in South Florida, so maybe a little bit warmer than it is here.
There'll be some snow coming in Tampa. Possibly. They have like a weird Gulf.
Oh, is that right?
Something's coming off the Gulf hitting them down. I don't know where he is down south.
All I know is I'm so proud of everyone I know. No one has complained about the cold this week. And I think it's because we just saw the ice storm that occurred.
Yeah.
I was walking the dog this morning and one of our neighbors, I don't know if they forgot or tried to do this on purpose, but their sprinklers ran last night or this morning. So their entire yard, bushes, all ice.
Yeah.
Like what we've seen with the winter storm. But here in Jacksonville.
Like, whoops.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every time I talk to either my brother or friends from up north, and I always preface, it's not cold like you guys, but it's cold for here.
It'll hit you in the face when you walk out and it's 20-something and it feels like 19 for sure. But
this morning was like that without the sun.
Right.
Before the sun came up, it was pretty chilly.
We're good.
Yeah, especially when it was 80 over the weekend. The cold feels colder when you have the warmth right that close to it.
Yeah.
Right. And the wind. Anytime there's a breeze when the temperatures are in the 20s. All right. So I have a question for y'all. Why haven't the Jaguars given a raise to one Anthony Campanile at this point in time? We saw Grant Udinski interview for head coaching jobs. Yesterday got a raise. He's staying in Jacksonville. He withdrew from the Browns job, and then the Bills today went with Joe Brady as their head coach, which kind of feels like they interviewed a bunch of people to just promote from within.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, Campanile has interviewed for multiple different franchises' head coaching jobs, but I haven't read that he's gotten a raise yet, so where's that?
Yeah, you got to believe they're working on something to bring him back, and I just put it out there. I'm like, okay, now go get Camp and bring him back. Let's go. Like we need all the ships in port, man, for this next year. And again, if it does happen, good for him. But I want him back. I want him to fix this defense, get it even better than it was, get it to a championship level. I feel like, and maybe I'm assuming he would too. He's got unfinished business with Liam. But look, as far as Grant, what a great thing to get interviewed by two teams. Whatever their intention was does not matter. You obviously were impressive. That'll only go down as a good thing on your resume as you move forward. And I'm glad he's back too for Trevor. I'm glad he's back you got everybody back now on offense, so you don't have to worry about anybody, being out, being away and not being a part of it. And keep rolling into 2026.
Trevor wasn't a Pro Bowler. Do we put that on Grant?
Yeah, I think that, and I said yesterday I was hearing in the Buffalo World that the interviews they were doing were for like play calling offensive coordinators, and it didn't make sense. Now it makes sense because it sounds like maybe they had Joe Brady in mind, but they did these interviews to try and see if anybody would be interested in the passing offense. I mean, sorry, the play calling offensive coordinator. But yeah, I think that either way, if this year it was serious in the sense of teams really being like, these are two candidates that we really would want to see as head coaches this year, or more so of getting to know these, because it does feel like the beginning of what we're going to see from a lot of this coaching staff under Liam Cohen. And sometimes I do think that benefits the coaches themselves too, to do these interviews and go talk to different general managers and people around the league and see what they're looking for, what the interests are. And because your ultimate, at least for most people, the ultimate goal is to be a head coach someday. So if this is those first steps of getting to know what those interviews look like and feel like, and kind of the behind the scenes of that when it comes to the head coaching position, it's the start of something. I wouldn't be surprised if both these guys are head coaches eventually, just because if this early on you're seeing multiple teams want them, then there's something that's being said around the league.
As long as the window's open still, and you would imagine it to still be open, because you feel like this is the beginning of some really great years under Liam Cohen. I'm sure he's already been prepared for it, but I'm sure it makes him think even more, man, I better get ready for in case somebody does come grab one of my guys. Who's my next guy in line? You know, who's the guy? I got to know that. He may know that already. Sure. We just don't know it. But I would imagine that because of this kind of attention his staff is getting, that just ups the ante even more for him to be ready. Like we talked about it with Detroit. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they thought, oh, yeah, we'll just go. We'll run the same thing. We'll bring in Morton or keep Morton and whoever, you know, for the defense. It'll all be good. And then it wasn't good. It wasn't the same for whatever reason. I'm not up there. I don't know. But that had to play a factor in their, you know, not so great of a year. They were okay year at Detroit. They weren't terrible, but they were not near the team they were the year before, especially on offense. So got to be prepared for that. It's funny because, you know, I don't think a lot of us think of like head coach, you know, you're thinking of get team ready. Make sure they're held accountable, win football games, you know, all this stuff. You're not thinking, oh, then find your replacement that may be coming down the path, and you better be ready for that. You know, that's just another layer of what it takes to be a great football coach. You know, I don't think about that often. You know, I sit there going through the options. Oh, wait, what happens if this, if that, you know, but they have to. They have to, for sure. It's a huge
part of what they do. Look, I think it's kind of ironic in that Liam Cohen only had one job that he interviewed for last season. Yeah. Only one team was interested in Liam Cohen. Obviously, that was the Jaguars. And then Grant Udinski, just so early into this entire NFL coaching experience,
has multiple,
has two, and then Anthony Campanile, 1 year's defensive coordinator, has three between the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Cardinals. But I'd be surprised, going back to the Bills, I'll be surprised. I could be wrong, but I'd be very surprised if Joe Brady's not the play caller for the Bills, because we've seen when he was at LSU. I remember years ago when he was the coordinator, the offensive coordinator there for Ed Orgeron for Joe Burrow and that group, that everyone were talking about him at that point in time as if he could be an NFL head coach just because you'd want him to be the play caller there. Yeah. But I know, too, he's never been a head coach before, and so sometimes they feel overwhelmed. It is fascinating to watch these jobs get taken and the different directions that each one goes, right? Like, you've got Mike McCarthy, who we know the multiple jobs that he's had between the Packers and the Cowboys. He's not on the younger side, and then other teams absolutely are pushing all their chips in on those younger guys. Joe Brady's 36, has zero head coaching experience. But I think when it comes to Jacksonville, if they can get, we know Udinski's coming back. If they can get Coach Campanile to stay, then that way Liam Cohen doesn't have to do what you're saying, Tom. He doesn't have to fill those roles yet. He can have one more year of thinking about that and putting those people in place.
Yeah, give him more time to be prepared for all that. And maybe he does have them already locked in. You know, like they're my guy, and I'll just move them up if that's the case. Again, though, like we talked yesterday, you think about, well, if they do go, they're taking people with them, and how many are they going to be allowed? You don't have to worry about that with Grant anymore. You know, you could see the infatuation with Grant if you believe in the fact that he helped Sam Darnold in Minnesota, here down in Jacksonville with Trevor. I mean, you'd want a guy like that for Josh Allen or any quarterback if he's the quarterback, you know, whatever, buffer or just get them ready, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, all that kind of stuff, That's a very important role. I mean, we've seen it here. You've seen it in Minnesota, depending on how big of a role that was. But that seems to be the trail of Grant Udinski, being able to get to these quarterbacks and getting them to play at a high level. And look, every quarterback, I think, would say out there, and most players, you like the buffer from the head coach. You like to be able to go to your position coach or the coordinator and talk to them, and maybe they talk to you a little bit different than the head coach. It's always nice to have a friend that you can confide in and say, I don't like this, I like this, whatever the case, let's work on it. And then having that coach that can be there to make them feel like, yeah, you're who we need, and this is what we're gonna do, and you do your part, we'll do our part, and we'll make it all work together. I think those positions are important.
Trail of touchdowns instead of trail of tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the important thing. As a coach, you're obviously doing your job and you're playing good football if your coaching staff is starting to get poached.
Yeah.
So that's the conversation we've had a lot. But it is nice to be able to have like the stableness for the stability for at least a couple years.
Sure.
Not having, we've talked about the Jalen Hurts conversation and 11 offensive coordinators in his time in Philly, and they've gotten a Super Bowl in that, but we've also seen this massive roller coaster of Jalen Hurts because of, not saying it's strictly that, there's other factors into that. But so I think for Trevor Lawrence, for example, or the defense in general, especially some of these defensive players that are younger in year 1, 2, having them at least 2-3 years and getting Coach Camp and Udinski working with them consistently, really feeling like that's a stable foundation now. You may lose them, but at least you're like, hey, we had these couple years where everybody was on the same page and you were able to develop, and then now you kind of let them free a little bit and you have to find the right person next, but you're more comfortable in what the player is by the time that happens.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of college quarterbacks. I mean, obviously Jalen Hurts transferred. He started at Alabama, then went to Oklahoma, and so you're talking about a coordinator different and all of his years in college, and then with Philly as well. But we're going to start seeing obviously a lot more college quarterbacks have multiple. They already had probably some multiple coordinators, but now
because of themselves,
correct? Because they go to 4 different schools, they're going to have 4 different coordinators before they even enter the NFL. Or if they're in college 6 years, it's 6 different programs,
or 8 or 9. Did I hear that today? Give me a break.
So crazy. All right, we'll get it to ESPN's Mike Duraco. He has 5 Jaguars storylines that he believes are obviously huge talking points when it comes to this offseason. We'll also add to that with our storylines. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Greenlaw Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Come aboard the Frangie Express.
We'll crank this sucker up and you guys can be pumped before supper.
We're going home. We can't make traffic disappear.
Pedal to the metal right now.
But we'll sit through it together.
Pedal to the metal. All right, let's go.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Urology for common cancers of the prostate, bladder, and kidney. Early detection is key with 5 locations across Northeast Florida. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
What could Jacksonville do better? Find out from one of our best ever as David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Monday from 10 to noon. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. ChadandSandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll leave it be. Just leave it be.
I think I missed the
I think
joke.
maybe the temperature.
Yeah,
Is that what
the
the number?
temperatures we were talking about, how we like it in our house.
I said I put
Yeah.
mine on 69. I'm guessing that's where the
true.
joke
Yeah,
is. Oh.
yeah.
Okay, I
Terrible
thought you were
joke.
talking about the song. So that's
that
why
song too, yeah, it all came
it was going
together.
over my head.
All of it.
Yes, Taylor's preferred temperature, summer or winter, is
yeah.
just under 70 degrees.
Yeah, just under 70. Just right under it.
1 degree
1 degree
less.
below 70. That is correct. That is not my preferred temperature, but
That's chilly.
I'm probably more like, if my perfect temperature would probably be like 74. If it could be 74 outside, inside, all year long, never change, I'd be okay with
It
that.
sounds like Southern Cal, right? They don't.
Yeah,
They don't have to
that's
even
true.
turn their AC on half the time.
And they have no humidity, which is
Yeah.
really good too.
Yeah.
RJ knows all about that.
That's right.
All right, ESPN Mike Duraco's has 5 Jaguars offseason storylines. We'll run through his fairly quickly because we've discussed most of these already, even though the offseason didn't start that long ago, but still, we've discussed a lot of these. How the Jaguars settle on using two-way player Travis Hunter once he recovers from the season-ending knee injury. D-Rock says early indications are that Hunter is primarily going to be a cornerback and have a package of plays on offense. What Gladstone does when free agency arrives will help clarify what the Jaguars do with their two-way threat. I think that would not surprise any of us.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and we, we can't. I mean, look, I think that's the way to start anyway, and then figure it out from there. But to just go back in, he's just going to play both ways, and we'll figure out how much. I don't think you can do that. I don't think that's very smart. I think, look, I'll say it again. I didn't watch enough of him in Colorado to realize that he could play press corner. He can get up with the best of them, the strong guys, the big guys, the fast guys. He can seem to handle them all in that uptight press type of coverage. So that was very impressive. So to me, that's my guy. Like if he could do that, I'll even let him follow the best or the number 2 receiver, whatever. Lock that guy down, take care of him, and I don't have to worry about you kind of stuff. That's what he brings to the table as a corner. I do like him. We like him on offense, right? I mean, he's dynamic. You give him the ball in the hands, and he was just getting into his zone. So I understand that allure. Like, you're like, no, but I want him here too. I get that. So maybe the package of plays to start on O and then full-time on D is, at least to start it off, could be a good route.
Yeah, I mean, I think the conversation was so different last year, too, because you didn't know what either of those things would look like in the NFL yet. Now you do have, a half a season almost of a sample size of what that could look like. And then you also were going into the season, I think, a little bit different, too, because you were talking a lot about Brian Thomas Jr. and then De'Ami Brown, I guess. But outside of that, it was kind of like, what is this offense going to look like? Who are going to be the main playmakers? And so you do feel like you needed that offensive presence from Travis Hunter. I think that's shifted a little bit with the addition of Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington this last year and what he was able to do this season. So, and Brenton Strange. And so those things shifted a little bit of what you need on offense compared to what you need on defense now. And that's where I think a lot of this is coming from. There's so many questions when it comes to a Buster Brown. Is he going, are they going to re-sign him? What does that look like? You saw flashes from Jarian, on the outside, on the inside. Jordan Lewis was injured, but he can be, he'll be able to play. Greg Newsome, that's another conversation. So you have so many conversations on that side of the ball. If you can have your true lockdown corner, you would choose that in a heartbeat.
And you have a new secondary coach, too.
Yeah, and there's more question marks on defense and offense. If you look at it from a macro 30,000-foot view, you got to fix this defense. Not fix it. It's not like it's broken, but it's got to be better.
Mend it.
It's got to be better than it was in 25.
Yeah, to your point about not watching Travis Hunter at Colorado, from what I have thought is, I think even if he never played an offensive snap, he may not have won the Heisman, but I still think he would have been drafted top 10 as just a corner.
Oh, I agree.
Like, I don't think that.
If not,
playing both ways was very sexy, and that's why he won the Heisman. We haven't seen anyone do that, since Deion Sanders is head coach, and that guy wasn't playing offense and defense. He was playing special teams and defense. But Travis Hunter, I still think would have been like a top 10 pick as a lockdown corner in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
Would the Jags have traded 2 picks to go to 2 for just the corner is going to be the question. 3 picks, 2 first. And then,
but he bet you would have been top 5, top 6, somewhere on there. He's that good. And I tell you another thing. I mean, if you just play corner, let's return a few punts, too, while we're at it. Go Deion.
Now you're getting greedy.
Go full Deion, man. I want to see that young man
Parker
shake
Washington
and bake.
said, no, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
your
He's
returner.
great. We love P.
No,
Wash,
he is. But yeah, I think it would have been interesting to see what the conversation would have been like surrounding Travis Hunter leading into the draft if he was solely a corner. And I suppose some people would say, or if he was solely a wide receiver at Colorado too. It's just everyone that we talked to pre-draft was like, his natural position is corner. It's just on this team, they drafted, like you said, they traded up to get him. They moved from 5 to 2. They mortgaged the future and told us he's going to be a game or a league-changing type of player. So, yeah, obviously we'll continue to talk about Travis Hunter. The second question, D-Rock asks, what happens with free agent running back Travis Etienne Jr. and linebacker Devin Lloyd? Obviously, we've talked about this ad nauseum because you have a guy in Etienne who had such a standout season after some people speculated that he would be traded. And then you have Devin Lloyd, who had an all-pro season, second-team all-pro, with 5 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 10 quarterback hits, and obviously didn't play, or they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he just played out his rookie contract. And so we have discussed this, of course, in the sense of what is best for Trevor. Should you bring back Etienne because he has that great on-field chemistry with Trevor Lawrence? What's best for Coach Campanile? Is it to have Devin Lloyd next to Foye Oluokun? But at the end of the day, it all comes down to money.
Yeah. And with Etienne, I think both the conversations are very interesting. But just focusing on Etienne to start, the tag number D-Rock mentions is 14.15. You're not going to tag him and pay that much money to a run if they franchise tag him.
I think the transition tag is 11, over 11,
which I don't think you really want to do that either. And so the number that the projected cap number, not talking about a tag, is between like 6 and 7 million is what I'm seeing. I think someone would pay him more than that. I think another team would pay him 8, 9, maybe 9.5, something like that. Just that's what you've kind of seen happening the last couple years when we've had this resurgence of running backs coming back in. Like David Montgomery, I think got 8.5 a couple years ago, and that's just kind of the trend you're seeing is that money range. And I saw rumors recently that the Bears have already their reports coming out of Hallis Hall is that if Etienne's available, they would offer him $8 to $9 million. So I think that that's an interesting conversation because you're probably not going to want to pay him 11 or 14. So then you have to see what that contract looks like and what he'd agree with. Would he want take a little less to stay in Jacksonville with Trevor, or does he want to get paid? And we've seen it go both ways and all over the league.
It's cold in Chicago, Travis.
Yeah.
I think with Travis and a couple other guys on the roster, is the new regime ready for their guys to take over? Last year they weren't ready for that, right? I felt like even before the trade with Tank, to Philly, I felt like Etienne was that insurance policy just in case the young guys weren't ready to play significant roles. So the question is, does the staff feel like they're ready? Because if you do, then you let Etienne walk and go get as much money as he can get out there. If you're not comfortable, then you figure out a way to keep him. I think, eventually you have to make that move, because that's normally what happens. You draft guys in Tootin, you draft guys in LeQuint who have shown that they can play at high levels in this league. There's no doubt. Are they Etienne from last year or 25? No, they're not. But can they be? I mean, you kind of drafted them to be. They are the future replacement. So when is that replacement time? Is it now or is it down the road? I feel like it might be now. I feel like, look, and I love Travis Etienne. I think what he did this year, coming back and really proving a point, he's been great. His touchdowns, you can't deny. His pass receiving, you can't deny. I am concerned, like his yards per attempt for a lot of part of the year after he started off with a bang was not good. Now, that's not all him. That's blocking too, but there were some 2.7s. There were some 3.5. I mean, there were some really low numbers. Now, it ended up a 4.3. So when you see a stats like, 4.3 per carry, but that wasn't the case for a lot of the, a lot of the games. Now, early on it was, right? I mean, the Carolina game, I think he was like at 8 yards a carry. But then it kept slowly coming down week after week. He had a couple here and there in the latter part of the year where he had a good good outing. I think Tennessee, he had 85 yards on 17 carries, something like that, from what I remember. But that would be the concern for me. So if I think Tootin can take over that, and maybe I still bring in a third down back to handle my pass duties that I can get in the draft or on the cheap. Maybe I do let Etienne walk. Not that you want to. You'd like to keep everybody. You would, and for the reason, because he's been here, you drafted him. It's Trevor's guy.
But if you keep everybody, you're not getting better.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
Yeah. But then that's where it comes a time when the new regime says, look, we gotta play our guys. We just gotta play our guys. Like, there's no other way around it. Not to say that Etienne's not our guy, but he's not our guy. We inherited him.
Is that an argument almost between Liam Cohen and James Gladstone, or a difference of opinion? Maybe argument's too strong. I almost feel like last year going into it, the reasons you heard the trade rumors is maybe Gladstone wasn't as high on Etienne as Liam Cohen was, and Liam Cohen was, and I'm this is pure speculation, obviously, but if Liam Cohen's like, we're not trading him, I need him in my offense,
and James is like, he's not worth X amount.
Right. And of course, last year, he wasn't going to be nearly as expensive as he will be this year and moving forward. But you just wonder, is there a difference, a little bit of philosophy between, and then that's where you almost wonder if Tony Baselli comes in and is like, look, I've seen what Travis Etienne can do. I know the type of person he is. We'll put him in a direct competition against Tank Bigsby, a little bit less against Bashal Tootin in training camp, but we're going to have those two go head to head, see who emerges victorious. He'll respond to that. I wonder about all those conversations.
And James is like, I got Kyron Williams in the 5th round, so
right. Well, I think
you drafted Snoop Connor right before him.
For last year, I could see them all being on the same page because you're not ready to turn it over to the rookies yet. And Tootin was known for fumbling at Virginia Tech. I mean, he had 9 fumbles in college. So you were like, hey, we like that he can break away from everybody, but if he can't hold on to the ball, we got to make sure we got somebody. That's when, remember the first fumble from Etienne in camp? We're all like, oh no. But it was after the play, and he never fumbled again for the record. Nobody ever took it out of his hands again the entire camp.
Which is so impressive. Not just camp, but obviously during the regular season.
Absolutely. So I think it just comes down to, I don't think last year, it would have been foolish if you let him go last year, because what if they don't work out? Now you have no running game. You got nothing. But they
I
did
guess you
work
would have
out.
kept Tank Bigsby at that point in time.
Right.
that
And
would have
who
been
knows how
trio.
that would have worked out.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that Tootin's very explosive,
Mm-hmm.
and he can really make things happen, and we want to see him better in the pass game. We know LeQuint can handle third down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that young man was being talked about one of the best third down backs in the league early in the year. Not early, but midway
He'll
through.
destroy people.
Yeah.
Bigger
And
than
he
him.
can catch the ball, and he can run a little bit. He's a good return guy. So, again, I'd love for Etienne to stay, but I could see them moving on from Travis.
I can understand that. I just wonder, are you going to get over 1,000 yards and 13 total touchdowns from the next person? Assuming that's Bashal Tootin, are you going to get that production from him this season? If that's a guy that you're going to draft, are you going to get it from there?
But what if you could get it from the two of them and it doesn't cost you what it's going to cost Etienne, and I need that money for my defense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just playing hypothetical.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I'm right or anything. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
hypothetically, like, then what?
Or or James is like, there's 6 running backs I like in this draft that I think can do the exact same thing that Travis Etienne can,
Or
and you've
close.
now with Bucky Irving and Etienne and Bashal Tootin have made all of these backs talked about in the NFL.
And the new run game coordinator from Tampa.
Yep.
So maybe that's
Bringing
even
that guy
another. Hey,
that-
let's.
Brian
This guy can make our current guys better, our young guys better. Who knows? I just think for me, it's defense. Defense held you back. Defense cost you the Bills game. Defense cost you to move on in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think you gave up way too many leads. You didn't get to the quarterback well enough. You stopped the run great, and takeaways were great for the majority of the year, but you didn't do your service to your offense. They got you way too many leads that you could not keep. And that comes down to me, in my opinion, getting off that field, getting to the quarterback, knocking them on the ground, making sure they don't throw the ball on us. And we just weren't good enough on that side of the ball, for a championship. Defense, wins but you got to have a championship defense to win the whole thing.
You got that right. All right, we'll continue this conversation. Keep it right here, Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010 Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-7098. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-7098. That's 800-575-7098. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Frank Frangie here. This month marks a big milestone for Nimnick Buick GMC. 85 years of serving Jacksonville. Since 1941, Nimnick's been more than a dealership. It's been part of the community. 4 generations of families, thousands of vehicles sold, and a reputation built on doing things the right way. When you hear nobody but Nimnick, that's 85 years of trust behind it. If you bought a car from Nimnick, serviced one, or participated in one of our causes, you're part of the legacy. Stop by and see the folks at Nimnick today, because this milestone belongs to Jacksonville too. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. and I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Feel the power of Van Halen. Live, jump, America's Van Halen experience. Iconic riffs and David Lee Roth era energy. Sunday, February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. Get tickets now at thcenter.org.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Mike Sirocco of ESPN does a fantastic job covering your Jacksonville Jaguars. He came up with the top 5 Jaguars offseason storylines we've discussed. Number 1, which is about Travis Hunter and his usage. Number 2, what happens with free agent running back Travis Etienne Jr. Now let's get it to the other massive free agent. That would be linebacker Devin Lloyd. There are other important free agents as well, but for the sake of this conversation, I feel like Devin Lloyd is going to get paid a boatload of money because the problem, Tom and Taylor, is they lump linebackers all together when it comes to these contracts. And to me, inside linebackers should have a different salary structure than outside linebackers. And they don't. So therefore, you see guys that are making over $30 million at the linebacker position. Therefore, if you're Devin Lloyd's agent and you just had the fantastic season he just had, you're going to want to get over $20 million per year.
Yeah. Well, they did that with the right tackle and left tackle. Remember, the right tackle used to be valued less. Now they value them both the same as long as the tags are concerned. Well, you know how I feel about Devin. I think he's a difference maker. I read where D-Rock, we love D-Rock, said he doesn't rush the passer enough to get paid that kind of money. I say rush him more. I think he's very capable of rushing the passer. I don't think he's a 3-4 outside backer, although I know he did some of that in college. But he can get up on that line and rush the passer, and I hope they would use him more. Look, if you got to free up, I don't know how you do it because the dead cap seems like high everywhere across the board. Were they talking Foye? Were they talking, Eric and whatnot up front to, try to ease up some of that pain? But I don't know, man. I don't, $20 million to me, I'd pay him. I'd pay him 21. I mean, Fred Warner gets, what does he get? 23?
21.
21? All right, I wouldn't pay him 21.
That's why I don't think he'll get 20.
Yeah, I'd pay him 18, though, 19. I mean, so I don't want to pay.
Fred Warner makes 21. Roquan Smith makes 20, and then it jumps down to 18 with Tremaine Edmonds, Zach Bond at 17. So I think, honestly, he's around 16, 17, in my opinion.
Think he's around. And if you rushed him more, I think he'd be even more valuable.
The franchise tag, if that's the route they decided to go, $27.45 million.
Yeah. Nobody's going to pay that. I don't think. And if he gets it, good for him, man. You can only get that money once in your lifetime, sometimes twice in the NFL if you're lucky. With another contract, he's still young. But, hey, man, if you got to take that money and run, like Steve Miller says, and go for it.
Kirk Cousins said, take all the money, make it guaranteed, and you'll end up, very happy man. Look,
I continue to do that over and over.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think the key to remember with free agents is it's not only what they've done for your team. And so everyone here knows Devin Lloyd struggled in pass coverage for several years. And then this past year with the 5 interceptions was fantastic. But it's what another team values their potential, right? Like, so whereas I feel like we understand how great he was in camp scheme, but I'm sure some Jags fans think, well, there's another guy out there that we can get to put next to Foye that can do even more than him. And another team is going to look at what Devin Lloyd did this past season and say, we're going to unlock his potential even more because we're going to know exactly where to put him. And therefore, they think they're maybe one player away on their defense, and they will be willing to pay a lot more than what most teams would.
I never felt Devin's struggles in the passing game was physical. I think he could cover.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the athletic ability to run with almost just any tight end out there. You know, he's gotten better at it too. I mean, his coverage in space has been really good. Did he simplify it mentally? Yeah, he did. But look, if the rumors are true with what Caldwell and what Nielsen were doing, I'd have been confused too. I mean, you splitting the field in vertically in half, and one side man and one side zone, I'd be loop-de-loop. I mean, it's crazy to even try to figure out what they were even thinking. So I always thought he got a bad rap for that. One thing I always loved about Devin, he was always near the football, great against the run, and he was one of your thumpers. I mean, he's one of your hardest hitters on the team, and that means something. You could say that you could find somebody there. I could also go like, well, if you can't because of the cap, but can Jack Kaiser play middle backer? Kenny, I mean, they drafted him. They like him. He looks good in camp. I mean, I haven't seen anything else, but could he take the place of Foye Oluwakin and hold down the fort enough? He maybe isn't as good as Foye initially, but could he be just serviceable middle linebacker? Stop the run, get the plays in, make sure everybody's set up, play a little pass, rush you a little bit, and then somebody else
to where
takes
you
over.
can where you can pay Lloyd is what you're saying.
Yeah. But you can't because of the cap.
Yeah.
We went through it. I don't think you can with Foye. And I love Foye. I'm not saying I don't like Foye. That's not what I'm saying. But again, you think of the running backs. You think Rand saw the injury, so we'll see how he comes back. But guys like Kaiser, I mean, they drafted them in those rounds for a reason, to be the eventual starters at those positions. Because why? Because it's their regime. It's their guys. Hey, they love Foye. They do, because he's a professional. He plays his ass off every game. He's really good against the run. I mean, he makes tackles all over the place. There's no doubt about it. He's good enough in coverage. He had like 10 passes defense, so he's really good at that. And I think he could blitz more too. But if I had to choose between the two, I'm taking Lloyd. I think Lloyd's more of a difference maker.
You're also a
out of
former
those two
linebacker.
guys. Well, we're all linebackers, and I do think, look, Lloyd is not used enough again going after the QB. I really do. I mean, he's got good closing speed. He's got great length. He can get skinny in that hole. You've seen him do that where he makes them miss, trying to block him. He runs over most running backs that try to block him. He can elude them. Yeah. I mean, he's good at all that stuff. So
you think it's easier to get better at running back or to spread the ball around at running back than it is to get better at Devin Lloyd's position? Is that accurate?
One more time.
It's easier to find the production at running back, whether that's drafting someone, whether that's signing someone, or spreading the ball around to replace Etienne's production
than it is to
replace
Devin
Devin Lloyd.
On this team?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for this team?
Yeah, for this team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think, and again, I think Devin's that kind of player that is even more, his upside's going up. You're paying for the future, right? We're not paying for the past.
Correct.
We're paying for what we think you're going to do in the future. When they gave Josh Hines-Allen that big contract, it was because why? Because he had 17 and a half sacks. They're like, he's going to do that again. He's going to do that again. He's going to do that again, or get close. You know what I mean? So for me, I think that Lloyd is that guy. I think he's got more football in front of him, and I think he can be even a better player than he was. Look, second team All-Pro is no joke. All right, so take the money out of it. Let's just say the money's not a factor. Would you want him back on the team? Second team All-Pro?
Yeah.
You drafted him, and he's second team All-Pro in his fifth year. Pretty dang good.
I think most people would say yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But the organization
I think most
drafted
Jags
him.
fans would say they want them both back.
Yeah, they want to figure out a way to try and make sure they're both on the team next year. It's just not likely that happens a lot of times. And I will, side note, just talking about Fred Warner's contract when it comes to them. The Niners did it right with him because he's making 21 average a year, fully guaranteed 18.1. Roquan, who's making 20 million, was fully guaranteed 45 million a year.
Whoa.
41 from Tremaine Edmonds, Zach Bond 34. So that they did really well when it came to negotiating with Fred Warner on that contract.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a second big contract for Warner, if I remember correctly.
He had like his rookie contract, then this one, and it ends in 2020 after the 2029 season, but there's void years after that obviously they'll figure that out for 30, 31, 32, and 33 are all void years.
Yeah. Well, he's the class of the inside backer, you know. And I think Bond's probably number 2. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
the
I
guy
like
from
Zach Bond
Philly.
too.
Yeah, Zach Bond's.
And that's an example of someone using him right because he was shipped off before that. He goes to Philly and they figure everything out. And Zach Bond looks like one of the better linebackers in the NFL.
Good call. He wasn't very well known prior to going to Philly. That's a good one. Where did he come from? Arizona? When he like a backup or special teams or something, or New Orleans maybe.
I was about to say, I think it's the Saints.
It was New Orleans,
yeah.
Yep.
The Saints give away all their good players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we can't figure out what to. It was because he didn't fit like the Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen likes the big, bulky, bigger Cam Jordan type players, and he didn't fit. So that was the whole conversation. Yeah.
We were just talking about that over the weekend. The Saints give away all their good players, and the Jets give away all their good players.
Yeah.
But hopefully not the Jags. All right, we'll continue down D-Rocks. 5 Jaguars offseason storylines. A new contract for Trayvon Walker. Is that upcoming? We shall discuss. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. We love winning, and 1010XL wants you to win our contests. We also like to share the winning. That's why we ask you to wait 30 days to win again so others get a chance to have the winning feeling. Find complete contest details at 1010XL.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 27, 1973, UCLA, led by Bill Walton, sets an NCAA record for consecutive victories with their 61st win after defeating Notre Dame.
Renewal by Andersen is ringing in the new year with a happy renewal year sale. Buy one, get one, 40% off all replacement windows and doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 1 year. Renewal by Andersen's Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Sale ends January 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Andersen, where comfort meets savings.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or ChadAndSandy.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. You see that new welcome offer? Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. I think we got to jump on this.
What's John Daly think?
I think you got to grip it and rip it.
Grip it?
And rip it.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Joe C. here. I tried playing handyman with my sprinklers and French drain. And royally failed. So I called Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage, and John Haney came out personally, just like he'll do for you.
You know it. And for a limited time, my good buddy Joe C's coming too.
Huh?
Ain't that right, Joe?
I gotta go to the game.
Joe? Go!
Clearwater Irrigation. At least do this part. And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we continue this Jaguars conversation, care of one ESPN's Mike DiRocco. The next question on the docket, a new contract for Trayvon Walker. D-Rock says Walker will be playing the 2026 season under his fifth-year option as of now, and although there are no indications the team will be working on a contract extension soon, it sounds as if the Jaguars do want him around long-term. He's obviously gleaning that from that postseason presser with James Gladstone, the general manager, and Liam Cohen, the head coach, and the glowing things that they had to say about Trayvon. You would think that an extension is coming, but it won't be an astronomical extension like we've seen for the likes of the guy that was drafted one position behind him in Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, we talked so much this offseason about the right choice of not tagging Lloyd yet, because you hadn't seen really what Lloyd was going to be, and you wanted people would have been losing their minds if after last year you picked up Lloyd's fifth-year option. You did with Trayvon Walker, and I also think it was the right choice, because now this year, granted, a lot of it was injury. He battled all sorts of injuries, but I feel like if you would have paid him last year, you would have had to pay him a higher amount just because of what the piece that he played on the defense that last year. And I think now it has kind of leveled out a little bit, where you're seeing some of these young guys come in and be more productive than a Trayvon Walker. You're seeing who am I thinking? Kayvon Chase on right now, kind of get his resurgence and in the right scheme, kind of show what he's able to do in the right defense. And so I do think that when it comes to the Jags alone, you want the players at the end of the day. I'm not one of the people that's like, don't pay the players. It's not my money. I think they deserve to get paid. And if you're one of the better players in the league, you deserve that. But just from the Jags perspective, I think they made the right choice on both of these guys, and giving Trayvon the fifth year and making Devin Lloyd kind of play it out.
But it'd be so much easier if they had picked up the fifth-year option on Devin Lloyd, because then we could just sit here and say, okay, let's see if you have another all-pro year. And if you do, then we'll either pay you or let somebody else
But
do
if
it.
you didn't do what he did, then we're sitting here being like, you just wasted so much money, and that now you're looking at a different linebacker. So you didn't know going into what it was going to look like.
They got to be kicking themselves, though, for not doing it, But that's the probably the reason they did it with Trayvon. I think with Trayvon, it's more like, hey, Trayvon, we love you. We want you here long term. We are going to pay you. We just can't pay you right now. So let's give you the fifth-year option. Maybe it loosens up, but we got to take care of some other people first. But we will get to you. And that's what that fifth-year option is for that protection.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be like, what do you do it like now you're with Lloyd? And I agree with you. They didn't know.
Yeah.
And you can't, whatever. They didn't want to take that chance. Hindsight's 20/20, but you look at Devin Lloyd and you're like, well, what if he didn't have the year he had, right? Then you're like, nah, I'm not bringing him back, or I just got him for the fifth year and then we're done. Maybe try to trade him in that regard, do something with him. But, look, as far as Trayvon's concerned, I wouldn't pay him yet. And if I'm him, I don't want to get paid full-time yet because his production did dip due to the injury. Has to be part of it, no doubt. But you want it on a high. Again, why did Josh get paid so much? He had 17.5 sacks. You're like, oh, my gosh, he's going to do 15 every year now from here on out. That's the thinking. With Trayvon, look, we want to see that. What did he have, 10, then 10.5, and then it dipped. We want it back to, that level of double digits. But overall, Trayvon is their kind of player. He lives and breathes football. He brings the heat. He's always playing at a high level. He's an incredible specimen of an athlete. You play him outside, you play him inside. It just can't preclude you from adding to the weaponry. You need another pass rusher. You need a kind of a specialist, like a pass. You know, I thought of you against New England and Denver. Benito went right around. I mean, like he was to the quarterback in like a second and a half, and I was like, that's what LB was talking about. Like, doesn't need anybody else. Just one-on-one, I'm beating you to the quarterback and
quickly.
We need and very quickly, and we need that kind of player. I think.
I wonder if, and this would be a whole different conversation, but I wonder if there's something there with BJ Green. If he maybe could be developed into that speed rusher. I'm not going to say he's going to get as many sacks as Nick Benito and however many he had this year, over 10. But I wonder if he's got that twitchiness, right? That's what you need more than the bull rush, the power, and things like that.
He seems more of a natural bend type pass rush. I don't know if he has the speed of Benito, but he's got the get off and he's got the bend. So he's got that technique down. So maybe
we're getting closer at least than certainly like Strigow, I think, is a different type even than BJ Green.
Yeah, Strigow's more of a Trayvon type guy.
That's what I was
strong, can get you a sack here or there, that type of thing. Although Trayvon in the past had done more, but as a 3-4 outside backer, so we keep that in mind. And defensive end, he did it both positions. But yeah, I think it's a good way to protect yourselves. You could pay other people, and then of course go bring somebody in that can really affect the QB consistently.
Yeah, in this article, D-Rock talks about, obviously, Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to be the conversation forever around Trayvon Walker. But he got $180 million, $141 million guaranteed, $45 million annually. So D-Rock says he thinks it's more close to what like a Josh Hines Allen got, which was the 5-year $141, $88 million guaranteed, $28.25 million annually. So do you think that Trayvon would accept that number, a 28.2?
Yeah. I mean, he better. Yeah. I don't know if the window will ever be higher than that, unless he breaks out and has like a 12 or 15 sack season in his 5th year, and then they're like, oh, well, we got to pay him maximum.
Yeah, Josh Hines Allen is paid amongst top 10 edge rushers salary-wise. There obviously is that big gap, to your point.
To Aiden Hutchinson.
But yeah, I thought about that too, it's a deal more comparable to that. But again, Josh Hines Allen was coming off of a year in which he had 17 and a half sacks when he got that an extension, and I don't know that that's where they are. But they do love Trayvon Walker. There is no doubt about it. They love him. He is a complete player, like you said, inside, outside. They love his work ethic. They love his attitude. And so, I think he eventually gets an extension. Just what does that look like?
Yeah. And that when you talk about those edge rushers, so the top are all Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, all make 40 plus on their contracts. Then there's the group of Danielle Hunter, Max Crosby, Bosa that are in the mid-30s, and then it goes Trey Hendrickson and Josh Hines Allen, who Trey Hendrickson obviously is coming up to a contract. So that
just a one-year deal.
That was just the 1 year. They're 29, 28, and with Brian Burns, and Nick Benito also is around that range too. So I do think we're in this world now where it is going up. Like it's been a few years now since Josh Hines Allen has gotten his, and now where that range has grown. Yeah. So that's what's going to be interesting when the conversations come between him and Trayvon, because Trayvon's probably going to be like, okay, well, depending what this next year looks like, can argue, okay, well, yeah, he got paid 3-4 years ago. Now the edge rusher contracts have grown tremendously in the last 2 years.
And those guys all sack the quarterback a lot.
Yeah.
So he's got to make sure he does that in order to get to that
We say cash
level.
is king, sacks are king when it comes to those contracts. That's for sure.
Sacks for cash.
That's right. All right. Tom's takeaways are on the other side, and we'll continue through D-Rock's offseason storylines. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios.
Murray with time.
Hey, this is Aaron Murray, quarterback for the University of Georgia Bulldogs on 1010XL 92.5 FM Sports Radio.
Yes, he did.
Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler, bold flavor done right.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial #law.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
If you want more teal in your daily diet, Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Exclusive guests, sharp analysis, and nonstop Duval football. Served by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's Taylor. Valentine's Day is just a few weeks away, but don't do what you probably do every year. Last-minute grocery store flowers, questionable strawberries, and a box of forgettable chocolate. This year, step up your game. Pre-order fresh, hand-dipped strawberries and beautifully crafted artisan chocolates from Peterbrook Chocolatier. With 15 North Florida locations, you probably drove past one today. Up your game this Valentine's Day with a gift that actually impresses. And trust me, you'll score more points with your Valentine. Find your closest location at peterbrook.com. Peterbrook.com.
I'm with Brett from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's the favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
We've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Look around and we know you've got options for gasoline, but those other places, they're not in the business of more. At Shell, that's what you get every day. Members get more rewards, more savings, more special offers. You'll even get 10 cents per gallon off of your first fill when you sign up and save on every fill after that. Choose to get more and more with every drive. Join the Shell Fuel Rewards program today at fuelrewards.com. Offer valid at participating Shell locations. Offer must be redeemed within 60 days of registration. Limit 20 gallons. Restrictions apply. Visit fuelrewards.com for more information.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. All you do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. It's just that simple. Now Prize Picks has early payouts. If your lineup is off to a hot start, you have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. At Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. Download the Prize Picks app today, use promo code 1010XL, and get $50 in lineups instantly when you play $5 in lineups. Prize Picks, good to be right.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. A refreshing bit of grit has been added inside the building in Gainesville as Gators head coach John Summerall has been raising eyebrows, not letting players wear the Gatorhead logo yet. Summerall was quoted saying, "You gotta earn it, you gotta earn the logo, man." As for Gators hoops, they'll look to bounce back at South Carolina tomorrow night at 9. It's 47 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
By the way, a bit of clarification. Yesterday we were talking about the Florida spring game and how it will be April 11th, kicking off at noon, and I said it won't be televised or streamed. Well, you can listen to it right here on the Superstation, and it will also be on our stream. So it won't be necessarily televised on their streams, on ESPN or SEC Network, but you can listen to it right here. So if you can't make it to Gainesville, or if you can make it to Gainesville, still bring your earbuds and listen in.
I love the spring game. That meant winter conditioning and spring ball was over.
Yes.
And it was sucked in Boston. We didn't have a cover, and our old turf was like cement with a layer of minimal stuff, and then it'd be freezing and raining, and we'd be bitching and moaning the whole damn time. Couldn't wait for that spring game to get it all over with. But it's a fun time. It's fun for the, if they allow the kids in these days. Do they still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. They need to do that. That's always a fun time. Give the players something to play for. We didn't have a lot of people come to our practices, but I think in Florida they probably go to some of the practices, I would imagine.
So there are certain schools where their spring games are sold out every single year. It was Nebraska for the longest time, but I don't know if that's still the same way. But you'll have phenomenal attendance at Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, like all the schools that are traditionally really good. Florida's is hit or miss. It depends on, and I'm not calling the fans fair weather. It's just you're going to something that now no longer is a scrimmage. Like when I was growing up going to the spring game, one of the reason it was called the Orange and Blue debut or Orange and Blue spring game was because one of the teams would win, orange or blue.
Yeah.
Now they've got players switching teams. They've got on the football field. They've got, guys that are just throwing passes and aren't really competing. Like it's so not an actual scrimmage. And I know why they haven't done it recently, to avoid injuries, of course, but also because there was a spring portal and they don't want guys that are going to be poached.
Right.
Now that that's over, you do wonder if maybe some teams will go back a little bit, but I'm sure they are still scared of injuries.
Yeah, because we talked about that a lot the last couple years in the sense of, okay, well, no wonder, and I get it, because there was that other portal that was right after the spring game, so they didn't want to show people too much because then they would just leave, and that's awful way to do that.
Right.
And I wonder, like with the Nebraska thing, I wonder if it's similar to, like you were saying, it's kind of they're finally like, okay, it's spring, like we can go outside and do activities.
Yeah, well, Goff, I think he always had it on Marathon Day. The Boston Marathon. You take off school for that day. It's a big party, but he had us work, and we didn't ever get a chance to participate. We never had. We might have had like 50 people at our stands. Nobody came to our spring game.
It was cold.
And it was probably a little chilly.
Yeah,
but,
for me, it always is the definition of spring beginning. I mean, obviously around these parts, like true spring begins now with the players in March. Like our spring really begins with the players, but when the players was in May, it felt like that was the beginning of it.
It's amazing with those portal dates that they just. It's almost like they just do two of them, one here and one there, and you're like, why would you do two?
The coaches wanted that.
They wanted the second one?
Some of the coaches did, because if they didn't love their spring roster, they could go.
They'd be like, I get another shot.
Yeah, the big boys could then go get from lower teams. All right, back to the Jaguars conversation. And first, Tom's takeaways.
Now.
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon is a personal story that happened today, actually. I was in the gym and working out, and this younger guy grabbed the Smith machine next to me. I see him in there all the time. He's very into working out, same. He's a real muscular guy. He's got a ton of tattoos. He always looks like he's either really intense or, just whatever. It's funny because big guys at gyms are always like checking each other out. Who's this, who's that, all this kind of stuff. So anyway, I literally said, "Hey man, what's your name? I see you there all the time." Could have been the nicest guy in the world. I mean, his name's Steven. He's a firefighter. I'd seen him at games and whatnot. And I was like, man, just keep working out. He's like, yeah, you too. I noticed. It's just so funny, like us meatheads. The way we work in these little microcosms of our world. And all it takes is what? Saying hello. Yeah. And next thing you know, you never know who you're gonna meet. So great to meet you earlier today, Steven. It was good. And then another firefighter friend came over who I knew, and we all knew kind of the same people. So it's always a good time. That's my takeaway. So what is it? Just be friendly out there, man. Be friendly and say hello. And like I always say, you can always keep that small stick of dynamite in your back pocket if you need it. But start with a hello. And that's my takeaway. Brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Sounds like Steven could help with the stick of dynamite if need be.
Yeah. He's ready to rock and roll. I'm sure. But it's just funny because you always, guys. I don't know if girls do this, like in the gym, but I know guys do. They're all like, "Oh, what's he lifting? What's he doing? What's this? What's that?" There's a little bit of ego, and then you're like, "Oh, we're just doing the same stuff, man. Trying to stay healthy, trying to stay fit." So it's all good.
Lauren used to have a full-on rival at the gym she went on. You missed a lot of stories about this.
Really?
Yeah, I had a gym nemesis.
No kidding.
I think they're now called gym and nemesis.
Tell me about it. Like, what was happening?
We were very friendly, like personality-wise.
Yeah.
It's just we were direct competitors in a lot of the things. However, she ran track in college.
Okay.
And so I could not compete with that part of
On
it.
the treadmill or whatever?
Yeah, the running and stuff, I was like, yeah, that's all you. But when it came to like pull-ups and some of the strength stuff, like what weights we, would use for different activities.
You try to go heavier.
Oh, absolutely. Because that's what I could bring to the table.
Right,
and
right.
so, yeah, people would just kind of look over the other women in the gym and be like, I'm not even attempting to do that.
I will say, as you get older, you stop caring how much you lift.
Absolutely,
You know, I know I do. I could care less. It's all about how you look, how you feel.
I was going to say, it's not about how you look. It's about how healthy you are. But
that too.
And how you look.
Of course, there's a level of vanity. And to your point about what women do is I remember going into this gym a long time ago, and most of the women dressed very similar, like t-shirt or tank top and either shorts or yoga pants, whatever. Nothing that was like trying to show off. But there was this one chick, and she was always in a sports bra and those tight little biker shorts, matching color combos. I'm sure now that's
everywhere,
popular everywhere.
I mean, girls wear that just normally now.
Yeah,
like, that's outfits.
Yeah, they go to the gas station in those clothes, or Target or Walmart, Publix, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, and she always had her hair down, which I always found odd because I've never once worked out with my hair down in my life. And she always had makeup on and like very tan, and it was like, okay, and she always stared in the mirror the whole time she was working. She had a great body, don't get me wrong, but I was like, that'll never be me. I will never dress like that and want the attention of people looking at me while I'm working out.
I can barely get to the gym, let alone get ready for that much, like do that much my hair and my makeup to go to the gym. If I'm going there, I'm like dragging myself there already.
Yeah. I just try to make sure I don't have bedhead. For the morning.
Got to put your lotion in the hair.
Or water. Or throw a hat on or something.
I wear a hat at all times when I'm working out. I can't stand hair. Anyway, we've gotten off track. All right,
just say hello to your gym goers. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Be friendly.
Or people that you meet at the gas station or the grocery store.
Cool.
I always, chit-chat with people. All right, but that's no surprise. All right, what did the Jaguars do with Brian Thomas Jr.? We will get to that question. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
From the Greenlaw Group studio.
Helmets and Heels.
If real life were sports, radio would be like 1010XL.
I like this kind of party.
Because sports are more fun than real life. There's 1010XL.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. A new year is the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the road ahead. And nothing gives you more confidence than a fresh set of tires from my friends at Big Chief Tire. I've trusted them for years. They take great care of me, and they'll take great care of you. Start 2026 with a smoother, safer ride. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief get you rolling.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday, protected by Morgan & Morgan.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Feel the power of Van Halen. Live. Jump. America's Van Halen experience. Iconic riffs. And David Lee Roth era energy. Sunday, February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. Get tickets now at thcenter.org.
Scholar athletes prepare themselves to win at life.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists shine the spotlight on the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Checked by
the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Hey, Hickett here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Hacker here, and I'll admit something I don't love admitting. At some point, you just kind of get used to being overweight. Not happy about it, just used to it. Like, yeah, this is me now. That was my mindset. I tried stuff, took the meds, cut carbs, all of it. And when none of it really worked, I remember thinking, all right, I guess I'm just gonna have to live with this. And that sucks. I didn't like saying it out loud, but that's where I was. When I finally started Awaken 182 years ago, I wasn't fired up. I was skeptical. I just didn't want to feel stuck anymore. Then 4 weeks went by where we are right now in the new year, and I was down 35 pounds in a month. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't broken. I just needed the right plan for me. That's what Awaken 180 gave me. That's what they'll give to you. Look, there is no magic pill that lasts. There is no healthy diet giving the results I got. There is simply Awaken 180. And you can talk with them today. Go online, awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Did we continue talking about working out and sweating off air? We sure
we
did.
Mike McCarthy's not working out. He's sweating. Like,
I saw that he was asked about Aaron Rodgers and whether he would welcome him back earlier, and he said absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers
He's like, you got me in my winning record my whole career.
This is the last time I will wear a tie. Mike McCarthy
he looks like he's a
says.
witness on a stand in a murder trial.
He looks nervous.
He sure does.
And I guess I saw one clip where they said he got emotional. I guess he grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so he got emotional.
His dad owned a bar in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he did grow up a massive Steelers fan. So we'll see how that works. All right, back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. D-Rock's 5 offseason storylines. What did the Jaguars do with wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr.? A couple weeks ago, or last week, I think it was, a different ESPN reporter, Bill Barnwell, wrote that he wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars traded BTJ because, of course, he didn't have a great season this past season, or at least the first half of it didn't go according to plan. And then also, of course, the fact that this regime didn't draft him. Trent Baalke did. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. is here for sure this season. I don't think they trade him away because going back to the conversation with Devin Lloyd, like the upside, I think to me, what you saw his rookie season is much more what Brian Thomas Jr. can be. And even if he doesn't get to the over 1,000 yards, he's still helping the other receivers in this offense be the best that they can be.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you got to hold him accountable for sure. Brian Thomas, he's got too much talent though to give up on him. I wouldn't give up on him now. It's only been 2 years. Obviously, the beginning of the year wasn't so good. Towards the end was a lot better. He was still blocking downfield. You know, he was still giving it his all in that regard. I'll echo Jimmy Smith, our friend, the great Jimmy Smith. You know, he thinks there just needs to be more sense of urgency coming off the line. I think I'd agree with that. With Brian Thomas, you know, just getting into his route a little bit quicker, a little more sense of urgency. But yeah, I mean, look, remember, now granted, it was before the drops and things were not going well. Remember, Liam had said this offense runs through Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that early. So I'd be surprised if they did anything. I get what you're saying because I feel that way with other players. Like, it's not their guy. They inherited him. But I think he's got too much talent. I mean, you know, and part of the fear would be he goes somewhere and totally kicks ass for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, goes to Buffalo. Next thing you know, he's Josh Allen's #1 guy. And, He's got 70 catches and 1,300 yards. And
if you're going to trade him, please don't trade him to an AFC South team or an AFC team in general. Obviously, those are in the AFC North.
I'd keep him. At least I'd keep him for now.
Yeah, I think that my guess, if I were putting money on it, would be Brian Thomas Jr. is back, and they want Brian Thomas Jr. to be back. With that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if they listen to phone calls to see what people would offer, or because we've said it before, James Gladstone's not afraid, and neither was Sean McVay and Snead and all of that whole regime of trading away players that were doing well and were people they felt like still maybe had high value, but sometimes you make the tougher decisions to make your team ultimately better in the here and now and for the future.
And you want to know what other teams value. If you don't listen to the phone calls, then you don't even know what they're going to throw out.
Yeah, and I think that what we saw this last year with Brian Thomas Jr. is I don't know if he's the full on like number one wide receiver. I think that he's that deep threat outside wide receiver, and he can do that really well. But you had to have Jacoby Myers come in to kind of do some of that middle field stuff to open up the
scary stuff.
Yeah, yes, to open up that for Brian Thomas Jr. to be able to do what he does. And so I think that you listen to phone calls just to see that value and to see. I mean, if someone's like, I don't know the number, but it's like here, and you feel like that's something you can't match, and you're look ahead to the draft. If there's a ton of wide receivers they like and they can bring in their wide receiver that they really like, some of those conversations are going to be had. And I've said it a few times this offseason. A lot of times these general managers, they don't care about the feelings because they have to separate that. They have to do what they feel like is best for the future of the organization. And you can't 100% without a doubt say that BTJ they feel that way about him because of some of the comments made this year and because they felt they had to go trade for another wide receiver midseason because you weren't getting enough out of Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I would think because BT's probably the only guy that would warrant a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So is there somebody you'd want in the latter part of the draft that you trade for, to get into that part?
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think you'd package him up and go get another player. Yeah. I don't know, but if you want to get into that first round, he's probably the clearest way to get you into the first round.
BTJ to the Raiders, you get a pass rusher.
I mean, I would take that. I would take a pass rusher.
I don't think
there'd be more involved in it, but I've heard that with other teams, like number one or one of their top receivers in trade. Other things are in this, usually draft picks, and then you get Max Crosby.
Well, we don't have a first rounder, so you'd have to find a way, and Brian Thomas would fit that bill at least.
And I do feel like we saw in training camp there was something going on with BTJ. There was a lot of anger, there was a lot of frustration,
mm-hmm.
there were drops, and so the beginning of the season
he missed Mac Jones. No,
the beginning of the season shouldn't have surprised us. He also at times looked like he didn't know where he was supposed to be, and so whatever was going on at that point, and I don't necessarily mean off the field, maybe it was off the field, but whatever was going on the field, we saw that he was not on the same page, not just with Trevor, but in the offense.
Yeah.
And that's why we talk so much about De'Ami Brown, because De'Ami Brown looked like he was clicking and figured out right away the offense. So moving forward, obviously, training camp is not always an indication of who's going to be a stud, who's not going to be a stud. Right. But I agree with you, Tom. They're looking at this player and saying, can we get him to be the best that he can be? Which in college, he had 17, his third year, he had 17 receiving touchdowns at LSU opposite Malik Neighbors, right? Like, I feel like you also have to go back to, we've seen him do it. It's not just like the ceiling of this player as far as us dreaming of it. We've also seen him be able to do it. And I don't know that this team or this offense is going to have a true number one wide receiver, but at this point in time, if they have one, it's Parker Washington. And from what we've seen the last 6 weeks of the season, Jacoby Myers, you could argue, is maybe going to get way more targets than he did this past year, because he now finally will have an offseason with this offense and with Trevor.
Yeah, I get. When I think of a true number one, I just think of the X. He's number one wide receiver. He's the guy that can take the top off, scare the heck out of the secondary. I don't think Brian Thomas is that right now. I think last year he put some fear out there to the defensive coordinators of the league and secondaries, but it didn't feel like it this year. And look, Trevor's deep throws weren't always on target either, so we got to make sure that we keep Brian Thomas, that we hit on those things. Now, it's a combination. It's always quarterback, receiver, communication, whatever the case may be. Got to make sure that they're on the same communication and that we hit those big throws. But other than, look, I love Parker. But to me, I want him in the slot, work in the middle. One-on-one, nobody can cut. Even Jacoby, although I could see Jacoby on the outside a little bit too, but for a true number one, I want that speedster. I want the guy that can take the top off.
True number one looks a little different for every team. Like there are so few guys. We would probably sit here and go over the list and be like, there's less than 15 true number ones on teams. And would you necessarily put, before you've seen the success of a Puka Nacua and a Jackson Smith and Jigba on these teams, would you have said they're a true wide receiver one, right? Like
Jackson, I would for the speed. Puka, no, probably not.
Yeah.
Right? No, but he's a number one.
Yeah,
I mean, you
for
number
sure.
one go-to type guy for sure.
Yeah, and so that's where that true number one wide receiver is a whole different conversation than who is the guy that's going to get the most targets or lead your team in catches, lead your team in receiving touchdowns.
My true number one's like Chase, Jeff, those kinds of guys. Those are the number ones on those teams, that type of thing. Can Brian Thomas be that kind of guy is the question. He showed glimpses of it 2 years ago. Made some good plays this year once he got going. He was definitely a big part.
But he didn't look as confident as his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
And that's where, can they bring that confidence back out of him? Can he get more comfortable and things like that? All right, the fifth question. I promise we're going to get through this. Thank you, D-Rock, once again. What happens with offensive lineman Walker Little? And the reason I think he specifically put offensive lineman in front of Walker Little is you can't necessarily put offensive tackle because, of course, they paid Cole Van Lanen after the previous regime paid Walker Little, and so he was not starting at left tackle. He did against the Bills because Cole Van Lanen wasn't in, but Cole Van Lanen ended up winning that job. You have Anton Harrison at right tackle, and then you could play him at guard. He is owed Walker Little, that is $11 million fully guaranteed dollars this season. But one caveat, and D-Rock points this out, is that Patrick McCary cost more than he was the second highest salary of any Jaguars offensive lineman this past year. After Walker.
And that's do you have a swing tackle that's your highest paid offensive lineman? That's what this comes down to. I mean,
but if you let's say moved on from Walker Little, is Wyatt Milam your right guard? Is Patrick McCary your right guard? And then if Wyatt Milam becomes your right guard, who's your swing tackle? And
you have a free
have
agency for some of those things.
Well, look, I honestly, I think Walker, what he's shown best is right guard, and it was only for a couple games, but he was really good. He was really good. So it's all guaranteed. So unless someone trades for him, you know what I mean? To be a left tackle. There's talk about Anton, left tackle, but wouldn't Anton want to get paid like a left tackle? What if you say, all right, Anton, you're a left tackle? It's like, all right, fantastic. Guess what? I want to get paid like one.
Yeah, we saw Juwan Taylor get paid, even though the Chiefs technically paid him to be a left tackle. He ended up being their right tackle, and he was paid like a left tackle. Yeah, I've thought for years, a couple years now, that they were going to move Anton Harrison to left tackle. Yeah. So we'll see on that. And they could believe, Taylor, that a true competition is what they want once again. And so Walker Little, you either go beat out Cole Van Lanen or you go beat out Anton Harrison and earn that $11 million, or we'll find you another team.
Yeah, we've had the conversation in other positions this year of you don't always want to be like, well, we pay you more, so you need to start. That shouldn't be the case. Like, it's not always going to be the case. Sometimes players get beat out, and we see it throughout the NFL with that happening. And he mentions the trade in here. It would cost the Jags $7.235 million in dead money, but it would save them $7.265 million in cap space. So you win-lose, I guess, in that situation, another bulky thing. But I feel that is going to be another one of the big conversations, because it does feel like paying Cole Van Lanen when they did, to me, was a kind of, it's showing Walker Little, you didn't earn this spot this year, and we gave you opportunity after opportunity to do so. When bringing in Fred Johnson, then being like, never mind, and trading Fred Johnson, and then you gave him the other opportunity, and then it just felt like it was always, as soon as you felt like he almost was winning the spot, he would lose it again.
Right. Well, and remember, Cole was hurt in camp, so he never really got a chance to win that job.
Right.
Fred didn't really make a mark, in terms of...
So maybe Walker never won it if Cole was there in camp.
Was already paid like one, though, at least.
And
look,
technically he lost his job due to a concussion. Walker Little did.
Here's the thing, though, with Cole. Do we know what's with the knee? Do we know what it was?
I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, what?
You think they're going to tell us?
Yeah. They don't tell us.
Which is crazy. I don't know why. If he tore his ACL, he tore his ACL. He's got all year to rehab. He's got to want it because he was hurt in camp with the knee, I believe. Yeah. And then got hurt again. So anyway, hopefully he's healthy and fine,
Yeah, I
and you
don't
don't
think he
have
would
to worry
have torn
about
his
that at
ACL
all.
because he at least was questionable leading up to the game against the Bills.
Yeah.
So that's at least.
Yeah, maybe that's
I
a
don't-
good indicator.
But then again,
We don't know.
Don't tell
Yeah,
us
they're
anything.
murky when it comes to those.
And again,
details.
back to that, do we want to play our guys? Like, we drafted Wyatt Milam to
Yeah.
be our starter at some point.
Right.
Monheim's a 7th rounder, but he showed he can play, although Hainsey is their guy.
Yeah. Hainsey's
Because they
definitely
brought
the
in their guy.
But
They
yeah,
targeted
Monheim-
him, and he's our guy.
Yeah, but
We
Monheim,
want-
I think, will be the
Eventually.
successor of Hainsey
You would
eventually.
think so.
But Wyatt Milam, we kept wondering, is he going to be potentially the left tackle of the future?
Possibly.
Right? Like,
He's got the athletic ability to do it. He's
And
got a
it's-
great mean streak for sure. He likes to
So if
get after
if
people.
McCary's your right guard, if he wins that job,
Right.
and Milam's your swing tackle, then Walker Little
But McCary with the back, I mean, that back, I hope it's not, backs are tough,
Yeah,
man.
and
They're
again, he
really
was the
tough.
second highest paid lineman for this
Yeah.
past season or this upcoming season, $10.5 million. McCary.
Well, and to your point, Van Lanen too. That's 2 knee injuries in 1 year. So you want to make sure you have a left tackle that could come in, and you don't want to have to shift too much. You don't want to be like, well, if Cole gets hurt, we'll move Anton to that side, and then you have to shift the whole line. You want to have somebody that you feel comfortable, which it could be Milam this offseason if you see that kind of progress. And then at that point, you don't really have a spot for Walker unless it's backup right guard, I guess.
You can't pay a guy.
I
to
know
be
that's
your
what you're not
backup.
paying him
So,
$11 million for. The right.
But I will say, I bet you he's got Walker's got a market. Somebody would want him. Somebody would be like, you know what? He's not that expensive for a left tackle. It's not like he's paid like the elite. He's got good athletic ability. Showed that he can play.
He's
Maybe
smart.
not.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy, good locker room guy, good guy. That kind of stuff. You could see them taking him. I mean, eventually, look, when you get the new regime, that's trimming of the fat.
Yeah.
You
And the
you trim
regime
that fat. That's
they-
not your fat.
They think so differently than the previous regime. I think that's obviously why all of Duval celebrated a year ago, right? Like last week. That's why, because this regime is a much more forward-thinking regime.
Yeah. And think about this, too. Like, you can't fix everything in a year. But they did. I mean, almost
came
everything.
close.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, they're taking over. They're not going to fix everything in 1 year, but
They came close.
They're pretty close. Yeah, they did.
You got that right.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to the golden moment on the other side, time now for some Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about Georgia football. This season is going to be a very interesting season for Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs, and that is because of the philosophical war that's going on in college football between recruiting versus transfer portal. Obviously, everyone's going to point to the last 2 national champions. Ohio State, a ton of transfer portal players. They paid them heavily. Indiana maybe didn't pay them quite as much, but certainly they had a lot of transfer portal
QB,
players as well, including the QB. So here's the interesting part. In 2024, Georgia signed more than 10% of the nation's top 100 prospects. That was 2024. That means this year they'll be in their 3rd year. That is huge for Kirby Smart. He retained most of those players.
Yeah.
In 2021, the national championship team featured defensive stars. Stop me if you've heard of these names, like Nolan Smith, Trayvon Walker, Nakobe Dean, and Lewis Seen. They were all in their 3rd year who had signed as blue chip players for a 2020 or 2019 recruiting class that ranked 2nd only to Alabama. And the 2024 recruiting class for Georgia is better, at least on paper, than that 2019 class was. And all of that to say that Georgia brought in the smallest transfer portal class in the SEC with 9 players. However, when I looked at some transfer portal rankings, Georgia was 22 in the 22nd of the top 25.
Yeah.
So not terrible, obviously, with only 9 players. Kirby knows how to evaluate talent, we know for sure. But I do feel like the end of this season for Georgia football will at least give us a little bit more information as to what is the absolute best way to build your football team.
Yeah.
And it's not 100% recruiting and it's not 100% transfer portal, as we know, but is that scale sliding just a little bit?
I always felt the transfer portal was for that. You fill in the blanks, like your
Yes.
recruits or your team. And then when you need a QB or you need a running back or you need a tackle or whatever, you go find one in the portal to build a team around them. I know it's the way of the land these days. Just
Certain
seems like
teams it is.
more like pro. It's just pro football when you build a team like that. Look, Boston College, I shut it off. Bill O'Brien got up in front of the crowd. Was like, yeah, we got this guy, we got this guy. I'm like, I have no idea who these kids are. I have no idea if they're going to be any good. But you're acting like, hey, we paid them. This is good. Blah blah blah. Who knows? Maybe they are. That's part of the times of college football. But man, you got to have a healthy program. You got to have a good base of guys that you recruited and that
thinks.
stay.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what Kirby thinks.
I think that's what keeps you healthy.
But again, the SEC hasn't even played for a national championship the last few seasons, and
Yeah.
a lot of those teams have eschewed that transfer portal or at least paying the big dollars.
Yeah, and that's I think what we are going to see is there's multiple ways to do it. Just like in the NFL, you have the NFL that the teams are high free agency teams, and then you have the teams that are almost all drafted players. And I remember going and comparing that when it was Kansas City and Philly was like almost all drafted players. They obviously a little bit outside of that, and Kansas City had a ton of guys that they had gotten in free agency in those recent years to fill, especially trenches wise. And so I do think that you'll see there's multiple ways to build these teams, but it will be fascinating to see if it works again in the sense of you recruited another class where in year 3 you fully developed to these players, they know your system and all of those things, and how those come along compared to what Ohio State and Indiana did this year, and even Michigan and what they had done in recent years when it comes to hitting the portal. You want to be able to recruit, but you also want to be able to evaluate the talent that you've already seen play at the college level, and if you can get them to come to your school, which right now that's usually money. But I do think it will be kind of a tell of if Kirby does it again, then there's going to be an indicator that you can still build through recruiting. If it doesn't work like it did the last time, then it's going to say, well, you're going to have to pay kids, you're going to have to hit the portal, you're not going to be able to do this.
Fork out your money, Georgia boosters.
Yeah, the portals to fill in the blanks or upgrade whoever's at that spot on your roster.
Right. But certain coaches, Kirby being one of them, they don't like even the idea of paying players through that NIL type of stuff and getting them to their campus.
They like it under the table. I get it. It's easier.
But they don't
Cash
want
under
to
the
commit,
table.
$1 million or more to these players
Yep.
because he doesn't think they work as hard when they get to the program. And so, it will be fascinating to see. The golden moment is next. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Green Law Group Studios.
Gator Nation, this is your home for Gator Talk. 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
The new year is the perfect time to finally get your home organized. Lauren Brooks here, and I just love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. That's right, they'll come to your house, evaluate your closets, your garages, your home office, your entertainment centers, your laundry room, anything you need to get organized. Beautiful, functional storage for any space, lifestyle, and budget. So start the new year strong with 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free in-home consultation today. Call 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday
is served by
Morgan & Morgan.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
It's a new year at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. Cash in this month with thrilling promotions and tournaments, including daily high hands. Don't miss the winning weekends and table games Clockwork Cash Out, giving away $500 cash every 30 minutes on selected weekends at all Best Bet locations. The excitement is just beginning in 2026. Learn the games and see all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Hi, I'm Kara Omasol.
I'm Ruby Palaia, student at North Florida School of Special Education.
With support from the players, we're helping our students reach their full potential. 42 days to go into the players.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
We chatted about this yesterday when Shedeur Sanders was replacing Drake May. It was announced he was replacing Drake May.
The guy
in the Pro
Super Bowl to one of the worst quarterbacks to play this year. Okay, sorry, continue.
But I saw, so it was quarterback EPA per play this season, and the person just did like the bottom several throughout the season, and they included quarterback play, and they separated some for regular season and postseason too. So 37th in the NFL was Shedeur Sanders this year, with a negative .23 EPA per play. Just behind him slightly is Cam Ward, which I feel like, I don't know the situation of who said no to the Pro Bowl this year and all of the weird things with that, because there were some that I feel like were more fitting. And we talked about Trevor. I'm guessing Trevor said no. I don't know if there's other. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders were probably, when it comes to the worst throughout the season. And Cam Ward started getting better later in the season, but clearly they had the bottom two EPA per plays.
I would have been way happier to see
watching Cam Ward
in the flag.
And I feel like some people would have been like, okay, look what he did in that final like 8 games when it comes to kind of his turnaround. But then other people are going to be like, okay, well, he's not Deion's kid, so he's not going to get maybe the views they want from that. But anyways, just slightly ahead of Cam Ward this season was J.J. McCarthy at .15. Just above him was Geno Smith at .14. Joe Flacco was with the 33rd worst EPA per play. Spencer Rattler just a tad bit better than that. Drake May in the playoffs, just slightly better than that EPA per play.
Understandable.
When it comes to that. And then Justin Fields just ahead of that. So some interesting numbers there, but Shedeur Sanders dead last in EPA per play as a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know it's popularity contest. I don't know for a fact, but you got to think they passed. I mean, look, they're not going to, I mean, Trevor's in the MVP race.
Correct.
Like, there's no way they didn't ask him if he wanted to be in the Pro Bowl. And he most likely said no, I would imagine, if Shedeur is the pick. I mean,
I've got calls out to Trevor and Shedeur. Let's see who calls
says yes
back first. Like, what?
I don't blame the NFL for Shedeur, because it is that kind of, he's that kind of
I mean, people are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're either going to like him or you're not going to like him, but
That's
you
why
are going to talk about him.
Somebody in the marketing department may have decided it, not someone in the football, on the football side of things.
Yeah, well,
but
that's what it is, the Pro Bowl, right? It's all marketing and all.
For sure. I have to believe,
popularity.
that they went through all the quarterbacks better than Shedeur, and all of them said no thanks.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to help me in my career.
Yeah.
I don't need your, $10,000 or something? Like, I don't need that. I don't need your trip to California. I'm already going to California. Because I'm nominated for MVP and comeback player of the year, and my head coach is going to be there too, because he's nominated for coach of the year.
Yeah. I saw a tweet also, Shereen Williams, we've had her on the show before too, but she said, I'm having a hard time with people not understanding that these top quarterbacks have no interest in going to the Pro Bowl games. It's no longer an honor, and it isn't a free trip to Hawaii anymore.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
Now, so when they name Mike Vrabel, let's just say, as coach of the year, will Liam Cohen be like, Yeah, I wanted you to keep my name out of your mouth anyway. Don't pick me.
Don't pick me.
I don't want this to be something that people talk about all offseason as being positive for my team.
Well,
talk about the loss to the Bills. That's our fuel.
What's great, though, they go to the award show, as candidates, Liam and Trevor.
I believe they'll
if
go.
They
I guess
choose
I don't.
to
Yeah,
go,
I don't know for sure.
But they'd be invited to go and sit there. That'd be pretty cool, to be in that room with all the other candidates for all the awards. I would take advantage of that, of course. But I think Vrabel's probably going to win it. He's done a tremendous job with doing it. So is Liam. It's just they've done a little bit better than us, so you kind of got to go that route, I think.
It should go to, and I know it's a regular season award, but it should go to one of the two teams that are in the Super Bowl, in my opinion, even though that's not how it works out. But
it should,
done
right?
Because
that's part of the deal.
But that's where, I think who should
and
get
especially when coaches, are so aggressive on fourth down.
Dumb? You want to say dumb on fourth down?
I don't know if dumb's the word, but they're wrong. So they've been wrong.
Yeah.
But you would think, because of that, Anyway, regardless, I think that I'll be happy when the Super Bowl's over. I can't wait to watch it. But then I'm ready for the off season to start. It's time to get going on 2026. I know that's the closure for every team, right? You get to the Super Bowl, it's over. Season's over. Our season's over. Let's fix what we got to fix, and let's roll into the 2026 season nice and hot,
Yep. We'll be talking about free agents and the draft and the OTAs. And
they got a lot of work.
It'll be training camp once again.
They got a lot of work. It's going to be interesting who they let go.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things you got to, who are they going to allow to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they going to pay? Who are they going to ask to take a pay cut? Who are they going to ask to restructure? You know what I mean? Because they got to free up. They got to free up that room. They got to free it up somehow. So that's going to be a bunch of storylines, going into this offseason.
Yeah, we'll talk about our own storylines for the Jaguars 2026 offseason tomorrow. But on the other side, we'll bring you today's Terminix Pest of the Day. So keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Start the fresh new you with Local Fair Jacks, the online farmers market delivering fresh local food to your door. Start for just $7 with code FRESH1010 at localfairjacks.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the adorable chess man on the tracks.
There are two things you should ask yourself about your garage floor. How clean is it now, and how clean would you like it to be? A typical bare concrete floor doesn't just collect dirt, it makes dirt.
It is literally made of dirt.
As much as you sweep and mop, the dust and grit just never ends.
And drips from your car seep into the pores, staining the concrete forever.
A Checkmate multi-layer floor resists drips and stains. It comes in your choice of dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear shoes in the garage and track dirt back in the house.
Gorgeous?
Check. Durable?
Check. Tidy enough to walk on wearing clean white socks? Checkmate. Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate. Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
I'm guessing y'all saw the movie The Blind Side.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Such a great movie. But yeah, so
Yeah.
the actor who was the star in that movie, Quentin Aaron, he is going through he's in the hospital right now after doctors found he has a rare cyst on his spine.
Oh my goodness.
And so he'll have to have surgery, but obviously then they'll test that to see whether it's benign or not. And so the pest of the day is going to be any of those types of things that turn into malignant cancers, tumors, especially when it's connected to the spine, neck, or back. That's terrible. So as always, the pest of the day brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX. They take care of all the pest control issues at our house, so therefore we have none, as well as Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. I'm guessing they'll have a fun time taking care of the pests at Everbank while it's undergoing construction. Might be unearthing some old pests that have been around that stadium since it was
Don't
built.
let any squatters come in.
Exactly. But yeah, it always makes me sad when I see something along those lines. And obviously, like most of us have someone that we've loved that has been affected by cancer. And so hopefully his are just benign and they can remove those and he'll be just fine.
Yeah, no doubt. Cancer sucks. We all know that. So hopefully he's okay. That was a great movie.
It was a great movie. I'd still say Remember the Titans was probably
Remember the Titans is
my
my favorite
football movie over all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like for football movies. Yeah, I remember Titans really good. I like North Dallas 40, but that's an old school one.
Yeah, that's an older one.
That's an older one. I do like All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise. That's a cool one with Craig T. Nelson. You know, you're really beat, man. No, son, you are. Dang, I shouldn't have thrown that trash. But yeah, Remember the Titans classic. I mean,
So good.
and it's a true story, so that's kind of cool.
Absolutely. And it has more to do than just football.
Yeah, it's about life.
Like, I love Varsity Blues, but that's not based off of a true story that changed America.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I remember the Titans is one of the ones that there's so many quotable things out of that movie too. When it comes to the more serious side of things, but also the fun, like the sunshine and all that stuff. Like there's so many of those quotable things that if you're a football fan and a football movie fan, you could say it and immediately be like, "We are the Titans, mighty," even though the Titans, but
But that was a different Titans team.
Yeah.
And I loved his daughter in the movie. Like, she was great. Hayden Panettiere, who eventually grows up obviously to be a famous actress, but in the movie you didn't know who she was, and she's super feisty and fun.
I love when he takes him on that run to that historic graveyard.
Oh yeah.
That's like really powerful. Yeah, what a great movie. I love those kind of movies. You know, they stick with you forever too, you know. Yeah. And they do have, and listen, we talk about all the time. You heard me, Jimmy, and B's in there. You know, the locker room's a special place, man. You put away all that stuff like that society tries to jam down your throat. Like you shouldn't like that person because of this or that. And the locker room says, get out of here with that crap. You're either a good person and can play or you're not going to be here. And nobody's going to like you. It doesn't matter what you look like or where you come from. So those lessons are always great. Sports can bring a lot of people together. That's for sure.
Right. Unify people from diverse backgrounds. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hayes, we got Udinski back. Now we just need Campanile.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Don't they need to offer Camp a raise like they did with Udinski?
I think they are. I mean, I would be surprised if he is back with the Jaguars, it will be with a raise.
Yeah. That's good to know because obviously I feel like that was instrumental in keeping Grant here. What's your favorite football movie of all time?
Favorite football movie?
We were just discussing The Blind Side because the actor's going through some health.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that.
North
Although
Dallas
I hope
40.
he's okay. Oh, that's a good one. But I haven't seen that since I was like a little kid. My dad loves that movie.
That's a great one.
I need to go back and rewatch that. Gosh, favorite football movie. It wouldn't be Rudy.
No, it's not Rudy.
I love Rudy.
It's not even a football
Spoken from like a true Notre Dame fan.
I don't know.
Or
for
just good
football
movie
movies.
watchers.
I'll give you Remember the Titans, good movie. I'll give you one that isn't like a great movie, but I liked it as a kid. I saw Wildcats in the theater in like the mid '80s, where Goldie Hawn is the coach.
Out of Chicago high school.
It's actually like the first ever movie for Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. So if you go back and watch it, they're like super young. But it's a fun movie. It's a good comedy. So it's probably not my favorite football movie, but like
good call.
Yeah, but I'll go.
I don't think I've seen
We got a Little Giants.
Yeah, I love Little Giants.
I don't think I've ever seen Little Giants.
You haven't? The annexation of Puerto Rico? That was the play call.
I don't think I've ever seen
Little
that.
Giants is great. But
It's
I also
fantastic.
was young enough that like
Yeah, it was
Devin
around my
Sawa
age.
was like a heartthrob back then. What
Okay.
about Kathy Ireland? Which movie was that?
Oh, Unnecessary Roughness.
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
bad.
Right,
That's
yeah.
not bad. I never saw the Sandler remake of
The Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard.
But the original Longest Yard's really good.
Yeah.
Waterboy,
You know,
a football movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I guess
counts.
so.
I love
True story. Eddie Lauder, who played the quarterback in the original and the post on the prison side.
Yeah.
I spent the day with him in
Oh,
California.
that's cool.
So cool.
Was
the
he
story.
good dude?
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
God rest his soul. But
Oh, okay.
he was in like 80 movies.
Wow.
My attorneys hooked me up with him. He's so
Yeah.
cool, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it was a
great.
great day.
Yeah. So
love those movies.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm not very good on favorite football movies. I've got to.
No, you were
Which
great.
is weird because football's my favorite sport,
Right.
but I feel like there's way more like better baseball movies.
Yeah,
There's better
yeah.
basketball movies. Football is a genre. Maybe I'll write a screenplay. It's a genre that doesn't seem like it's got like a definitive. Remember the Titans is good, I guess. That's got a good legacy behind it. But anyway, coming up on the Frangie Show, we'll talk cinema, cinematography, our favorite actors, and it'll be a lot of fun coming up.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you.
Also, Taylor, Tom just said, my attorneys. I don't have attorneys. Do you have attorneys?
Yeah, you do. Everybody's got attorney friends that help you out when you need them.
There you have it. Learn something new about Tom every day.
Does Draft Day count as a
Yes,
football movie?
absolutely.
Because you're not playing football for the most part, but
No, but
I
it
really
counts.
did like that movie.
Yeah.
It was well done.
Wildcats, man. Hayes threw one way out.
He does that. He's really good with movies.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.
Are gonna walk all over